Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Megan, and today I'm going to be discussing the new movie on Netflix called The Wrong Paris. So let's get into it. This movie was so much fun to watch. It's very lighthearted. It actually was really funny. There was a few one-liners where I just lost it. I had to like pause the movie and actually finish laughing before I can continue. It kind of was what I expected, but then it also wasn't. The way that the plot went, you kind of get an idea in the trailer. And so when I watched it, I was just like, oh, there was like a couple of curveballs that were thrown. And I was just like, oh, this is kind of interesting. Like, I didn't realize that that was going to happen. I figured the outcome was probably going to be what it became, but the way that the movie got there was a little bit different than what I thought. If you haven't seen the movie yet, it's basically about this girl Miranda Cosgrove plays. Her name is Dawn, and she's an artist, and she really wants to go to this art school in Paris, and she only has money for 1 year of it, and I think it's 2 years long. And her sister decides to sign her up or let her know about this like bachelor style reality show where they are actually going to Paris this season. She's like, all you have to do is just like go on the show, and then you're already in Paris, and then just like get eliminated and you can just stay there. So after a while she decides, she's like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. So she gets there, and before she goes on the show, she meets this guy in the bar, and the guy in the bar is actually the suitor that they're going to be dating. She like really wants to leave right away, but her roommate tells her, she's like, well, if you go a little bit further each week, you can win money based on the competition as well as getting a date with the suitor. And the lady who hired her to come into the cast of the girls, she mentioned you have to stay for a certain amount of time in order to get your appearance money. So then she's just like, she's stuck in that predicament where she like wants to leave, but then if she stays, then she can get the money for her to go to Paris for the 2 years at art school, because she had already got in. It's just she doesn't really get a scholarship or anything. She has to pay for her room and board. She decides to like stick it out, and her and the guy, they had a really good flirtatious relationship at the bar. They never got each other's names, so she wouldn't have known that he was going to be the guy in the show. They find out that they're actually in Paris, Texas. Everyone's frustrated. She's even frustrated. That's the whole reason why she wants to go home. And her sister tells her before she goes on the show, it's like, do the opposite of what you're supposed to do. Like, normally people don't eat on reality shows like this, specifically dating shows, specifically like The Bachelor, but she's like, eat on the show. Like, do everything that's like opposite in order to probably get off the show or whatever you have to do. But she kind of does start to have feelings for him, and he obviously is very interested in her. But I love how like playful it is with all the other women and like the craziness of it all. It's just, gives me like Unreal vibes a little bit, but Unreal I feel was like super serious, whereas this movie knows that they're kind of making fun of reality TV and the romance and everything, and they just kind of like go with it. I liked how fun it was. Like, it wasn't like super serious. It was kind of a little serious at the end where he finds out about her wanting to stay in Paris, which I thought originally based on the trailer that he would know the entire time, but he kind of doesn't, which it didn't dawn on me until towards the end. But anyways, it was just super fun. It kind of wish like The Bachelor or other reality shows of that type of formula would like look at this movie and be like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like, you should have some money, but also have, you know, the love story part, because Dawn, she even mentions to the producer who starts to hire her, she's like, well, people are going to take the $500,000 or 375,000, whatever they're offering at the end. And she's like, well, you'll be surprised. Like, there's some people in the past that have taken, you know, the love and taken the engagement. But for her, she would obviously take the money because she needs it for whatever it is. And so I think for her, she never realized like that she could fall in love with this guy. But it also goes to show like you don't really know who's going to connect and who doesn't connect. And I feel like there was a great alternative for this if it didn't end in an engagement. There was something else there. So it isn't necessarily a complete waste. I don't know, this probably sounds like really bad, but if The Bachelor wasn't so hung up on the proposal at the end, like you aren't giving the couples enough in order to be successful. It's like you say you want a love story, but a lot of couples don't even last after that. Like if there was some other way for it to be entertaining and fun again, I feel like this was kind of great. But this, on the flip side, as a viewer, you don't see any of the off-camera things. So what we got to see in this movie was different off-camera moments that we wouldn't have gotten if we saw like The Bachelor or some other reality show. I kind of wish The Bachelor did something live, like Big Brother. I think that would be kind of cool to actually watch it in real time and just have like 3 episodes a week of like an hour and like have an elimination, but then have other things cut up. Because I think Love Island is similar, where it's live, but you get like 4 days worth. So yeah, I wish The Bachelor did something like that. That way that people would have more time. But I know that's not like the formula or anything. But I feel like in this movie, the girls got way more time with the guy than you would have got in the actual reality show. So maybe simple is better and maybe less women. I don't know. I just feel like they could get some tips from this movie. One thing I do want to say is that when she enters the show and decides to stay on for the money portion, I didn't realize that the Bachelor guy didn't really know about her trip to Paris. He knew that she like wanted to go to Paris, but he didn't really know the reasons why she was going to be going there and how she was going to use the show, because there are some moments where she's extremely sarcastic and she is a caricature of other people in front of the camera for the confessionals. And so it got to me, I was like, okay, maybe he understands that she's playing along with the game in order to get what she needs to get out of the show. At the end, I thought she would maybe get eliminated and then she would go off to Paris. I thought he would be okay with her going to Paris and having him eliminate her so that she could pursue her dreams, because more than likely the 2 contestants on the show that made it to the end, they probably weren't going to accept a proposal from him. I kind of wish that they would have did it that way and having them maybe take the money at the end, and then he's like, well, already in Paris, so he can go find her at the end. That's how I thought it was going to end. But it was just interesting on how it played out, because it played out differently than what I thought it was going to, even though the end with them coming together I think was going to happen no matter what, because normally that's how rom-coms end, is there's a problem and then they find a solution and then something else happens. But the way that they got there, I thought it would have been like really cool if the 2 girls at the end, they decided they wanted the money, and then he can be like, oh, okay, I did this experience, then it didn't work out for me, but someone else got something out of it, and then can drive off into the sunset with the girl that he actually wants to be with. I don't know. It was just a really fun movie, lighthearted rom-com. Like I said, it was super funny. There was a line from the girl, the contestant Heather, in this, where she like wakes up and they're in the plane, and there's this guy who has to like lean over and get something out of the compartment, and his crotch is right in her face, and she like looks up, she's like, dude, get your baguette out of the way. And though she said something like that, and it was so funny. That girl Heather, she had some great one-liners. And they had some, great actresses that were in the movie as well. The girl from To All the Boys I've Ever Loved, I think that's the series. The girl who played Chrissy, I think that's her name. And she's in it. She plays the girl who's like into Cinderella. Her name is Cindy. And then Madison Pettis is also in it as well. And it was just a great fun movie. I would definitely like watch it over and over again, because it was just a fun movie. Like, obviously the writing is not going to be like Emmy worthy or Oscar worthy, because it's a movie, but it's just like a fun, just a fun time. And it made me like wish reality shows were more fun like this and not taken like too seriously, but at least if there isn't love at the end, it isn't like a complete waste. There's at least some type of element of the experience being fun and just trying to find love. Like, one of the girls end up finding love with one of the camera people or the employees. Like, those things should be like positive from the experience, because it's just like meeting people. Like, I don't know. There wasn't just like much of a pressure. I think it kind of reminded me of like, I think like The Bachelor in Australia. I don't think it's required for them to propose at the end. But sometimes if it's like more lax a little bit and you actually give people time to get to know each other, you're probably going to have a better success rate. But if you don't care about the success rate, which some of the producers in the show, they want, the theatrics, the entertainment, they necessarily don't care about the couples, but then there's probably other people behind the scenes that do care about the couples. And it's like you gotta do something, because these other reality shows are doing very well and there are successful couples coming out of it. Heck, even Big Brother has probably more successful couples than a Bachelor or something like that, which it makes more sense at the end of the day because they're spending 24 hours together. I think Survivor even has a few marriages from it as well. So it kind of goes to show that these other shows are doing it their own way and being able to give the environment, successful for these contestants. And maybe that's something that maybe The Bachelor could, I don't know, take some tips from that. Or even this movie, like I said. It was super fun. If you haven't seen it yet, go see it. I don't think you'll be disappointed. Like I said, don't have any expectations. It's just like a fun movie. Like, don't take it like too seriously. But it made me laugh and it was super funny. And it was a great time. That's it for my review on The Wrong Paris. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.